Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. From now onwards, we will be discussing some key sociologists and scholars on art and culture. And as we discussed last time, we will try to incorporate scholars and sociologists from the internalist perspective as well as from the externalist perspective. So we will discuss today Walter Benjamin. Walter Benjamin is one of the most important, we can say, theorists on art and culture. He was German and he was associated with the philosophers of critical theory. He himself was art critic and philosopher, but his impact is immense in sociology. Most of his works were recognized as important after his death. And so he had some differences with Adorno. We will also discuss Adorno maybe immediately after Walter Benjamin. We will discuss Adorno, an important critical theorist, also from Germany and who migrated to United States. So first of all, a word about critical theory. Critical theory is an interdisciplinary project, in which scholars and sociologists and psychologists, they try to draw from multiple sources, particularly from Marxism and psychoanalytic tradition of Freud. And so they were, we can say in a way, neo-Marxist and neo-Freudians, and also from philosophy of Hegel and also from Max Weber. So in this way they tried to develop a comprehensive theory which could explain what is happening in this we can say post-capitalist world, or the world after Second World War. What can explain the rise of fascism in Europe in 1930s, for example, and what can explain you can say that Marxism was not able to prove its basic promise, and there were no revolutions in the Western Europe. So what can explain that, and what can explain the rise of mass society? So these kinds of concerns have been discussed by critical theorists, and important critical theorists include Adorno, Horkheimer, include Walter Benjamin, and Marcuse, Herbert Marcuse, the most important, whose work One-Dimensional Man is very important, and Adorno's work Dialectic of Enlightenment is also very important. So they drew from philosophy, psychology, sociology, and political theory, and theory of aesthetics. So Walter Benjamin had some differences with Adorno, which we will discuss later on, and those differences were about the role of art and culture in modern society. We will discuss them later on. So a word about something about Walter Benjamin, which is shared by all, we can say, Marxist and neo-Marxist, is that creation of art as well as appreciation of art. So art from the perspective of producer, from the artist himself, or art from the perspective of consumer or the audience. From both perspectives, the experience of producing art or experience of appreciating art is rooted in particular historical conditions. It is rooted in the times. It has a context. Perhaps this is the most important contribution of Marxist and neo-Marxist theory and that is why that is related to overall sociological concerns. So because sociology itself emphasizes on the context, while internalist perspectives, the art critics and the people of the scholars of aesthetics, while they emphasize on the genius and imagination and the creativity of the artist. Sociologists emphasize, and particularly Marxists, they emphasize on the social and historical circumstances. So Walter Benjamin's first point is that the important thing is it's not only production but the appreciation as well. It means when we see a painting, it is not just our biological senses, it's not just our eyes have particular biological functions and I can look at it, and there are physical aspects when we see something, but at the same time they are natural. So it's not just biological or natural when we see, when we observe, when we appreciate it. It's not only production of culture and art but appreciation. When we appreciate something, it's not only the biological and natural phenomena but it is rooted in history, and particular historical conditions determine our way to look at things. So, and another important point which Walter Benjamin has, and perhaps this is the key point in his work, his major work in our discussion is Art in an Age of Mechanical Reproduction. Art in an Age of Mechanical Reproduction. And he has seen in this work how this phenomena of mechanical reproduction has influenced the production of art and the appreciation of art, and what possibilities it can have on the revolution, on the transformation of society, revolution in the Marxist sense. So he says that any object of art, any work of art has something of an aura, and particularly in traditional societies when art was produced, so there was an element of sacredness and an element of authenticity, as we discussed perhaps in the past lectures, that there is an element that our artist himself goes through an experience, he passes through an experience. There is an element of experience, maybe some tragedy or maybe imagination, maybe an awe and wonder. So this sense of wonder or tragedy or something like that, or spirituality, there is a high, we can say, a flow of creative energy within the artist that is expressed in the object, that is expressed in the work of art. So there is an aura not only in artist but in the object of art, and whoever sees it, first of all, there is also a distance between the audience of art and the object of art in the pre-modern societies. It's not the objects of art and culture are not readily available to everyone. So there is a kind of elitist air with the works of art, and there is a kind of if there are art galleries any, so not everyone can afford to go there. Not everyone has time even to go there. So it's the selected few people who are living in that work of art, who are appreciating, who are commissioning the artist, and who are, for example, sometimes giving them enough funds and time so that they can produce the works of art. So there is an aura associated with works of art. This aura is very rapidly decreasing, and perhaps it has finished in the age of mechanical reproduction. And you cannot have this question of this element of authenticity. Just imagine, for example, there is a painting of Mona Lisa, and you can just Mona Lisa's painting, you can just have a photocopy. You have a very good colored photocopy of Mona Lisa. Now that colored photocopy of Mona Lisa, or on Facebook if you type Mona Lisa, there are so many images, and so that authenticity of original Mona Lisa the originality is no longer there. So in this age of mechanical reproduction, there is no longer authenticity or originality of the work. Copies are there, and copies can be accessed by anyone. So this phenomena that copies of original art are readily available, they are available to everyone. A person who is building, who is working as a builder, for example, or for example a person who is working in a restaurant, right? Or a sweeper, for example, he can have access to Mona Lisa's painting instantly. So this situation creates new opportunities according to Walter Benjamin, and here Adorno differs from him. That we will discuss later on. So the work of art is not present anywhere now. This idea of presence, that it was presence in a particular time and locale, the original work maybe in art gallery or in some other place. So it's nowhere. It's just floating in the air, and anyone can access that. So again, same thing. There was a cult value. There was a cult value. By cult value, we mean that there was a private space, a private sphere of art initially. An art gallery is a private art gallery, or a drawing room of a rich person is a private sphere where he has paintings. He has bought different paintings, originally signed by the painters. Rembrandt's own, for example, work. So that is a private space, and in that space, the presence of an art object is enough. For example, in a church, the presence of, for example, the statue of Mary, for example, that is enough. Whether anybody is seeing it or not, seeing or watching or observing it is not important in the cult value. It's just presence is enough. But with the passage of time, in the age of mechanical reproduction, it is available. So its real value is in seeing. It is seen by people, right? So basically, we are moving from just the presence to the exhibition. It is its value is in seeing. Its value is in exhibition. So this has positive as well as negative consequences according to Walter Benjamin. While the originality the art might have lost its originality, but it has, we can say in a sense, democratized, right? So democratization of art, we can say art has been democratized in this age of mechanical reproduction. And if we further extrapolate this idea in our age, in the age of Facebook and in the age of whatever things are, LinkedIn, and there are so many things, so in which there are images and images. So image has become, perhaps it was Walter Benjamin who said that the hallmark, the chief characteristic of modernity is the proliferation of images. Perhaps it was in 1930s he said that, before Second World War, that modernity is basically the proliferation of images. We are seeing today more than words and sentences. It is video, it is film, it is cinema, which is important now. The images are important. And Walter Benjamin has that was the reason that he was more interested in photography and cinema and theater, and he was seeing more opportunities for a change and transformation and creation of an egalitarian society in this medium, because he observes that a film is a collective process, the production of film as well as the watching of movies, although it is less true when we watch movies on a cell phone or on a laptop, but the cinema is a collective experience. There is an audience who are watching it, they are reviewing it, they are having a kind of responses, maybe collective responses, so they discuss with each other. So this involves community. So art is no longer an elitist and it is no longer a cult, it is no longer a private sphere phenomenon. It is in public sphere now, it is in the hands of people, and therefore it offers people a unique opportunity to bring about a change in society, and maybe proletariat can use it for the transformation of society from capitalism to socialism. So thank you very much. We will discuss now Adorno in the next.